at your feet, Lord. Taken from the text Luke 10:38 through 42. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparation that had to be made. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better. Bowing down in worship at the feet of Jesus should be nothing new when two or more believers gather together, or even in your own private times of worship, seeking Him, listening for Him, particularly listening for Him. The people of God have been humbled in His presence, from Abraham, who fell face down when God promised him a son, to the Israelites when they learned that God was concerned about their misery in Egypt and during their first Passover. In the New Testament, the Magi bowed when they came face to face with the newborn king. An illustration that hits closer to home is that of sisters Mary and Martha, as mentioned in our scriptural text. Jesus had come to visit them, and while Martha was consumed with making preparation for him, Mary sat humbly at his feet in communion with him, listening to all he had to say. There is a time to work and a time to refrain from working. Mary understood this and gave herself over to it completely. Some of our most profound encounters with the Lord happen in those quiet times alone with Him. You know, those moments when no one's looking, no one sees what we're doing for Him, when the only thing we care about and think about is hearing what He has to say. The reality of who He is shines forth often when we have moved beyond our most urgent prayer requests, our most pressing question that begs for an answer, or His timely intervention when we feel we need Him the most. Take just a minute and think about this. Are you able to recall the last time you worshiped at His feet in your own private sanctuary, wherever that might happen to be? Ask yourself this question: am I too busy? Even if it's busy doing things for Him, am I simply too busy to enjoy the pleasure of being with Him? Do I even know what being with Him is like? If you'll allow me, let me just stir this up in you for a moment. I know at first it may be difficult to think about the answer to those questions, but you would be well served. It will be life-giving to you if you take a little time and honestly answer those two simple questions. Again, am I too busy? Just too busy? And second, am I too busy working for Him, to be with Him? And then answer those two questions with a ready heart to turn in a new direction toward Him. One of the ways God loves is by loving people through His people. And for Him to do that through us, we must invite and nurture intimacy with Him. And that creates in us a river that His love can freely move through. It's amazing to me just how much He wants this with us. Oh my goodness. This is really about us coming to know the Father the way Jesus did, so that we can operate as His ambassadors in the earth the way He always intended us to. He knows what we desire before we ask. He knows what we need before we ask. It is time we become acquainted with what He desires. His heart, His passion, His purpose. If you haven't yet, consider asking Him the question, Lord, what are you doing? And what is my part in what you're doing? And be ready to open your heart to the joy of merely sitting at His feet. Selah.